Welcome to the T166 podcast for the week of June 1st. I'm Jose, and with me are.
Paco.
Artful.
Rabid Penguin.
His name's Jeffrey. So let's get it
Nope.
started.
Fuck you, man.
Whoa.
Damn. Already starting off hostile. Shit.
Hostile ass.
I think he wakes out of the bed hostile. That's the thing.
I mean,
Wakes
it's
up-
Jeffrey.
He wakes
I've-
out of the bed and he's like, fuck you, floor.
This past week has been kind of epic. Everybody saw the 24-hour countdown on Bethesda's website, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we all saw the Fallout 4 announcement, right?
Yes.
No, I
Right.
didn't.
You
Explain
didn't.
to me what
Okay.
Fallout is, please.
Yes, Fallout, one of the most epic RPG sagas of all time.
Western RPG.
Kinda.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, Western RPG. Look, whenever you say RPG, you kind of assume Western unless you say JRPG.
See,
I
I
don't
think
know. I
I
do.
think RPG as a whole, Western and East, Japanese, Asian, whatever, all together.
What do you guys think? What do you want in Fallout 4? How many of you actually played Fallout 3 and New Vegas?
I played Fallout 3, but I never finished it. But I did play a lot of it. From what I remember, it was pretty fun, but I think I just got stuck, and I guess I just stopped playing it. But today I downloaded New Vegas because I have the urge to play a Fallout game again. So I'm going to be playing that probably in these next
Yeah,
couple
I
weeks.
played Fallout 3. Actually came out in 2008, and I had an Xbox 360 at the time, and I rented it because I didn't have money to buy it, and I rented it the day it came out. And
From
I don't-
Blockbuster?
no, from a place called the Moving Trading Company. Shout out to them. And they actually rented out games they bought themselves. So like they bought a copy for rental, and I was like, they gave me the copy and it was sealed. I'm like, I get to open it? He's like, yeah, you're the first guy to rent it. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I opened it up like it was my game. I was the first one to play it, and I really enjoyed it the little time I had it. Then I bought it again, but I barely played it the second time.
What about you, Arful?
Nope.
Nope. Just nope.
Never played Fallout?
You didn't play New Vegas?
Mm-mm. I've seen them both. I've never got to play them.
That's crazy, man.
So did you play Skyrim or
Yeah,
any
I
of the Elder
played-
Scrolls?
I've played many RPGs. I played Skyrim. Yeah. I played ESO. If you want to count that, let's not.
Wow, you played ESO?
Yes. Yeah, let's not go there.
So
Okay.
So I'm like the quite opposite. Like I'm really looking forward to Fallout, and I really like Fallout. I don't really like RPGs, but I like Fallout specifically because of the environment and the setting. The post-apocalyptic, which I enjoy that in anything, movies, books, and television, everything. I really enjoy that.
It's really weird because I remember in 2008. In 2008, whenever Fallout 3 came out, I first played Fallout 3 on the PS3. That was where I started. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever I played Fallout 3 on the PS3, now you got to remember I was like 13 in 2008 or some shit like that. It bothered me enough that I couldn't finish the game. The ambiance was too intense for me as a 13-year-old.
Really?
Yeah, I whenever I was 11, I couldn't finish maybe I was 12, but I couldn't finish Republic Commando either because like the 4th level of Republic Commando, you're on a spaceship with zombie droids. And it just you're like the ambiance was great and it worked really well, but it just bothered me so much. And the setting in Fallout 3 just felt so much like that level in Republic Commando that the sewers just got to me, man. Ghouls everywhere. And because I'm apparently a masochist, I played it on the hardest difficulty my first time through. That was a mistake.
Okay then.
So I don't know if I got far enough into Fallout 3, but what I do remember is, like you said, going in the sewers and then being a crap ton of ghouls. Was there more enemies? Like, I know there's more enemies, obviously, but were there like, because in the new trailer I saw zombies type characters. They look really
The
zombie-ish.
zombie type characters are the ghouls.
Because I saw ghouls, and those are the ones that are.
They're the really
Skeleton.
emaciated looking humans.
Like the really buff ones, the strong ones, right? Are those the ghouls?
No, those are super mutants.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay.
It's
You
been
have
a
your
long time.
Yeah, okay. I've actually played it recently, and I'm actually going to be putting a modded LP of Fallout 3 up on my channel. youtube.com/rabidpenguin with a 1 in place to the end. But the enemies you usually end up with are your ghouls and your super mutants and whatever other amalgamations the wasteland can spawn. You have rad roaches regularly. Rad roaches are tiny and weak. Then you have rad scorpions. Rad scorpions are kind of basic in New Vegas. They're your weak super mutant-esque enemy from Fallout 3. The list goes on and on, man. There are some real weird enemy types in Fallout, and I can only imagine that Fallout 4 is going to be either just the same or worse, especially considering some of the vaults had the craziest experiments going on in them, man. Some scary shit happened in those vaults.
See, like I can't remember much from the games because it's been so long. I'm gonna try to play again.
So, what can you say for someone in my position, someone who hasn't played them but is looking forward to play the new one that's coming out? What can you say to get them, get into the series?
Well, someone like you played Skyrim, Elder Scrolls series, and you really enjoyed it. It's basically like that, except different settings. It's a futuristic setting, but it's post-apocalyptic. So it still has like whenever I was playing it, there was a lot of like 1950s, 60s feel, where the music in the game was like 1950s and 60s, and you use guns, and there's also like modified guns that you can build in the game that like are crazy awesome. There's a gun that actually you put any items you find in the game, and you can shoot that item, and it does crazy amount of damage on the person, and it'll be in slow motion, so you can put like a teddy bear in the gun, and it would blast somebody's head off.
I like to use pencils.
It's also kind of like a survival game. Pretty much like you pretty much go out to the world. You got pretty much nothing, and then you just gotta find stuff, explore. Make friends. They'll give you stuff. It's a role playing game. You start from nothing, and then you make your way up.
I just hope I
Right.
just wish these online, like they're doing so Elder Scrolls Online, like they do a Fallout Online, but like I don't know if they can do like a built-in into the game, so you don't have to do a separate game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think they should make it so you could invite like 1 or 2 other people into your world, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
But they had to be somewhere around your level area, kind of like Borderlands,
The E3 is getting closer and closer, and this Fallout 4 was just announced. They're gonna show more at E3, but a bunch of other games were leaked, or I guess announced. Like you got the Dark Souls 3 leaked, quote leaked by who knows who, right?
Mhm.
Right. Apparently, they must have ramped up production at FromSoft to some major, massive degree to get Fallout 3, Dark Souls 3 out to us this quick, because Dark Souls 2 was last year. And 2 years between Dark Souls games seems... It feels like Dark Souls 3 is just going to be what Dark Souls 2 should have been if they hadn't rushed it.
I feel like Dark Souls 2 just came out, and it's like I just heard about Dark Souls 3. I'm like, God damn, that was fast. Didn't they just release that PS4 game, Bloodborne?
Yes, they did. And Scholar of the First Sin, which is the DLC for Dark Souls 2.
With the new difficulty mode, right?
It's not a new difficulty mode. It literally just completely changes the game. It's a graphical overhaul, and it changes the way enemies spawn and a little bit of their AI to a certain point and how many enemies spawn. It's what Dark Souls 2 should have been in the first place. It's uncompromising, which is exactly the opposite of what Dark Souls 2 was, because Dark Souls 2 was designed and developed on last-gen hardware.
Not only Dark Souls, but I guess they was leaked Uncharted, Nathan Drake collection, right?
I'm not sure if the Uncharted collection really counts as a leak, though,
Well,
because that's
they
just
accidentally put it on the
PlayStation's...
PlayStation Store, quote, accidentally, and then they took it off right away.
Yeah, see, but PlayStation does that so much that can you really believe those are all mistakes?
Yeah.
I think they were gonna save it for E3, but it accidentally got onto the store, and someone caught it before they took it down, and they're like, "Oh, might as well just say it. Whatever, people know."
Well, I mean, Greg Miller caught it, and that's about as bad as it gets. Somebody who's that big on Twitter.
Yeah, I remember him tweeting the picture.
Yeah, or someone might have told him, or it's like a fan
Sure.
tweeted him. Look,
Definitely.
and then he was like, "Oh yeah, shit."
And apparently, the head of PlayStation's like, yeah, we don't have much to show at E3.
It's not gonna be like a big year. It's like they'll have games.
You mean Yoshi? Was Yoshi the one who said it?
No, it was the American guy. What was his name?
Oh, the American head of Sony?
We,
Oh,
we
nobody
sound
cares
so
about
bad.
him.
We sound so bad saying this, but we
I,
Oh
know
my
nobody.
gosh.
We know
Look,
nobody's. But apparently, that's what they said. They don't have anything big planned for E3, and it's like, is he trolling us or is he being serious?
He might.
look,
But I don't think
if
he will. It was.
whenever I hear a joke about it by Shuhei Yoshida, then I'll believe it, because he every time that Sony's either doing something completely stupid or is doing something that is obviously supposed to be big and they're not making a big deal out of it, he always makes jokes about that kind of stuff on his Twitter. And I believe Shuhei Yoshida is the head of Sony Entertainment America or Sony Entertainment period. I'm not exactly sure which.
Like if you're at a press conference, it's like if Apple had their press conference, they're like, oh yeah, we're having a press conference, but we're not going to show anything big. It's like, don't do that.
Except for Battlefront.
Well, hobby EA will show theirs at Battlefront at their press conference because EA has their
Even
own.
if PlayStation has like a bunch of other gaming companies, like EA or Ubisoft, show stuff at their thing, it's like I don't really count that as like, oh, Sony did such a good job because they just hired these other companies to show it at their press conference to make them look good.
Well, I mean, whenever Microsoft Studios puts out a game, it's a game designed by people they hired. I mean, the difference between hiring people and hiring a studio is minimal at best.
Well, I'm not talking exclusives, right? I'm talking like EA, Battlefront that's definitely going to be on both consoles and even maybe PC. It's like it doesn't make a difference because it's on both consoles. Like when they announced GTA 5 last year, was it last year? Yeah. They announced GTA 5 last year. They announced it during the PlayStation, the Sony conference, and everybody's like, "Oh, is it exclusive?" And then a little bit later, they're like, "No, it's not exclusive. It's for both consoles." Are you crazy?
I think that was the year before last. Last year was whenever they ported it to the PC.
No, that's what I'm talking about. When they ported it for Xbox, like
Oh, for
Xbox
Xbox.
One, Xbox, yeah,
Mhm.
Xbox One, PS4. So it's
Right.
stuff like that. Like if they were to go and show new IPs, and that would be cool. Like Microsoft, I think they're always like talking about, oh, we're gonna have the greatest Xbox lineup in history unveiled at E3. I'm excited.
Well, everything about Battlefront right now looks like shit, sadly,
Oh,
because all the
Oh,
features that were in Battlefront 2 are better than what's in this Battlefront.
I'm
They
Saw
shocked.
even
that
had
chart, didn't you?
they even had bigger. I did see the chart. Yes, I did. If we can go ahead and put that link in the description, that'd be great. But speaking of Battlefront and its flubs and insanity, there was this stormtrooper. I'm not sure if you guys heard of it. There's a stormtrooper in front of a school, and the stormtrooper got arrested.
Well, there's a little bit more than just he was.
Oh
in
yeah, I
front
heard
of
about
school.
that.
I'm sorry, but if we live in a day and age where a stormtrooper gets arrested for walking by a school, and this is a day and age I don't want to live in, it's not like he could hit anything anyway.
I guess you should off yourself then. 'Cause that's what happened.
So if you guys don't, what Jeffrey said, oh, stormtrooper at the front of school. There's a little bit more to the story. He was
Oh,
showing off
really?
his stormtrooper outfit at the school in Lynn, Massachusetts. They actually put the school on lockdown because the security was afraid of the guy.
No, it was the principal. The principal saw him out the window, and he thought the gun was real, the
Elementary.
blaster rifle
This is elementary.
that the stormtrooper carried.
Right.
He thought it was real, and he locked down the school and called the cops.
You can never be sure. I mean, schools are like they'll be very.
So the principal says he suspected the gun was plastic, but as the Lynn police spoke to Lieutenant Rick Donnelly, explained, as the things are today, you never can be sure. Like Paco just said, you're never
Yeah.
sure.
You gotta be precautious.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I don't
But-
think just anybody should be walking around in stormtrooper like in front of a school, like at a Comic Con, at a con. It's acceptable.
Look, if I read the story correctly, he wasn't walking in front of the school to be in front of a school. He was walking down the street, and his route just happened to take him past a school. I'm sorry, but it's clothing technically, like any other clothing, even if it is stormtrooper armor. All right,
It
And
says I'm reading the article right now. It says he was arrested on charges disturbing a school and loitering within 1,000 feet of school. That's so vague, loitering in front of school.
that's as vague as it can get because they knew they couldn't charge him with anything for real. Those are the
Yeah.
closest things they could get if they were going to make it stick, and he was already released.
I think that's one,
So
like in Massachusetts, that's gonna be like that's a big thing. But here they're about to, in Texas, they're about to sign a bill basically where you can carry your gun in public and everybody can see it and it's fine.
actually, there are already open carry laws in Texas, and I think 24 states have open carry laws to the point at which, if you had your, let's say, your AR-15 slung over your back and walked into Walmart, nobody could say anything.
That's kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
That it's crazy, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. I'm like, it's actually okay because I mean you can have a concealed handgun, so there can be lots of people with handguns and you don't know it.
But see, look, I don't want to know that you have the gun though. You know, it's like I can't see it.
Well,
so
look,
then I
let's
won't think
go
about
to
it.
an extreme here, okay? My boss, when I worked at Pizza Hut a while back, he was one of these guys. You know, he was one of those guys who was a real open carry activist, quote unquote. And him and his buddies and a group, I'm not sure exactly which group because there was a ton of them because, you know, Texas. He was in a group, and they actually, while I was still working at Pizza Hut, they all participated in like they had like every other Sunday, I think, or some shit like that. They did this weird thing where they would open carry at a park, and they would just go out and walk the park, and they'd just be open carrying them and carrying, and there were like 60 of them or something, and like 75% of them were carrying assault rifles as their open carry weapons, and they were all completely strapped up. That was like their day to be strapped up like the apocalypse crew they wanted to be.
I think it's so funny. Like people are just doing that just to because they can. Like that's such a childish thing. Like I'm gonna do this because I can do it. It's like no one cares.
Yeah. It's
Right?
dumb.
If we get to a point where you actually feel unsafe enough to have to open carry your assault rifle, then we need to be worried about other things. But until we get to that point, that's just ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw this about Star Wars. Maybe you did, Jeffrey. Like, cause you know, so Disney owns Star Wars and Marvel. So Marvel is making comics for Star Wars. Marvel's making comics for Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you know what Disney said when they bought Lucasfilm, which owns Star Wars? They said everything that was not in the films and some other little things are going to be wiped away from the Star Wars universe. So now they have a clean slate to work on, and they said starting from now, everything Star Wars is part of one canon universe, so that everything you read Star Wars content or watch or in a game is all part of actual Star Wars story. So recently, there's spoilers for you guys who don't watch or know anything about Star Wars. Han Solo was actually married from episode 4 to 5, which where this comic book takes place in between 4 and 5. It turns out the big reveal was that someone comes out, this African looking chick, and says that she's Han Solo's wife. And then Leia's just like, what? And then they show Han Solo and he just has his head down like, God damn it, I got caught.
I bet you anything it's Lando Calrissian's sister.
So wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, they were bros, man, and they had a falling out over something, and they never told you what.
Might be
Never told
that.
you what.
But yeah, so it's like it's crazy. So like since you know, so people are already speculating. If most people seen the Star Wars trailers, people are speculating that the Finn, which is the African American character in Star Wars, new Star Wars movie, some people are doing a theory that Han Solo is his dad. I think that would be pretty cool.
Hmm.
That's interesting.
I totally have not seen enough of the Star Wars trailers and things for the new one because I want to keep that under wraps. Because I'm one of the people who was I know you guys are too, pretty much. I'm one of the people who was a kid whenever the the prequel trilogy came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as a kid, it was just Jedis and lightsabers with better visual effects to me. So, I actually liked it. I haven't done a lot of going back and watching those movies. Apparently, the plot was horrible, and everybody who's a Star Wars buff hates them. I've been very much afraid that that's what's going to happen with the this trilogy. So I just want to wait. I have wanted to wait until it actually comes out to like look shit up. Except for
And
lightsabers with cross guards. Saw that.
and then it's like a lot of people feel the same way, but I think after we saw J.J. Abrams direct Star Trek and how good those Star Trek films are, I'm like, I think we're in good hands with Star Wars because he's directing Star Wars. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's interesting though. I like that they erased all the other stuff, and now they can actually say this is all part of the Star Wars universe. So either thing you read, it's all going to be part of the same story. Because like I don't like that about comic books, which I don't really read comic books, but I know there's tons and tons and tons of different versions of like X-Men and different versions of Spider-Man and even Batman and Superman, to where there's not really one version that you can go off of because there's a whole bunch of different versions of it. I don't like that.
Well, the thing is, the way the Marvel Comics universe has always worked, they're really, really intricate about weaving their parallel universes and shit together.
And it's like in some universes, it's like, oh, Spider-Man's a chick. Oh no, in this one he's a dude. Oh, in this one he goes and crosses, And then there's one where he actually crosses into the other universes, and it gets so confusing.
Well, that was a game.
No, it's in the comics too.
Is it? Didn't even know.
I don't know. I don't want to go into that, but yeah.
What I was gonna say was, how many of you have heard about Captain Marvel?
I heard that they want to have, who was it? Some chick play Captain Marvel. I don't know what chick it is.
Neither do I. I was just throwing out the fact that Captain Marvel's going to be a chick, and we're not going to see Captain Marvel for like 2 or 3 more years.
I forgot who it was specifically. There's one chick that's like, I want to play Captain Marvel.
It's okay.
The name is on the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry. Can't remember.
Okay, it's okay. Who eats Taco Bell? Everybody fucking eats Taco Bell, right? There's a Chicago and Taco Bell that's gonna start serving alcohol.
I heard.
There's a Chicago and Taco Bell? I have no idea.
There's a Chicago Taco Bell. A Taco Bell in Chicago is
go.
to serve alcohol. What do you guys think about places like fast food selling alcohol? I think that's weird, but I also see like that's probably futuristic too.
Well, I mean, if it's like, hey, can I get a beer at the drive-through? That's like, what the fuck?
Well, they already have places like that. I think you can buy beer, but like not really a drive-through. It's more like you drive up to the place and somebody takes your order. You buy the bags for you.
No, there's totally drive-through windows at liquor stores. There's a liquor store like 25 minutes away from me that has a drive-through window.
That's the part where they shouldn't do it. If you want to serve them inside, then sure.
Yeah, like you're dining in.
Yeah, but if you want to go through the drive-through and you buy yourself like a beer or something, I don't think they should do that.
It almost feels like enabling drunk driving, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like they're okay with that.
Personal time here. Alcoholism ruins people's lives. I know, okay? And yeah, first-hand experience. I know I'm not a drunk, but enabling people to drink and drive, even if they're not regular alcoholics, just making it easier for them is about as bad as it can get.
No, but Whataburger is making. Well, they already made it. They're selling a root beer shake.
Like flavored?
Yeah.
Like a root beer float.
No, root beer flavored shake.
Huh.
Interesting.
I want to go get
That's-
some tomorrow.
That's a little bit different.
That sounds good.
It's like reversed. That's cool.
Yeah. But I mean, it just sounds like a root beer float to me. I mean, come on, it should taste pretty
Anyways,
much the same,
root beer
right?
float's good too. So
Yeah, I guess.
And knock it till you try it.
So, do you guys hear about that new Xbox model coming? Possibly.
I'm excited, but I already have an Xbox, so it's like.
I feel like I just got my Xbox and they're already like getting this new one out.
Well,
Kinda-
you didn't just get your Xbox. Xbox came out 2013.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost the same thing they did with the Xbox 360 Elite, isn't it? Like, it was only a couple years later that the Elite came out, and it was no different except larger storage capacity. The black one, the first black one, not the slim one.
I thought
Right.
they came out with an Elite like at the same time, wasn't it? Or is it different?
No, it was like a year or two after the
Was
Xbox
that-
360 came out.
I remember they came out with the matte black one. That's the one. I got the regular one, and then I bought that one.
The matte black one came out like 4 years later. The
Yeah,
Elite, the
I'm
one
looking
that's
at it.
just
I'm looking
black.
at it right now.
Remember they had like the white Pro and then
Xbox came out in 2005 November, and then the Elite came out in early 2007. I see. And
And this is one of the reasons I hope that Black Ops 3 doesn't end up being on the 360 at all.
It will. It will not.
I heard it's being. I don't know, but I heard it was getting made by a different company. Like,
See,
Treyarch is-
but still, they could, like, it's the same thing they did whenever they outsourced Titanfall.
It's not, because Treyarch is working on the next gen version, which is going to be totally different. It will not bring the game down to the last gen standards as a lot of games do that are doing right now. So it's actually a good thing, because the new developers making the old gen version, so to say, it'll be different from what the new gen is. They won't be they won't tie each other together, basically.
I don't
They're
think,
they're paying that other developer to make that game.
and I don't
And
think,
that money could be put into something else. Sorry, Jose, go ahead.
I don't think Treyarch has confirmed Call of Duty. Like, Activision hasn't confirmed it'll be on 360 or PlayStation 3.
Right.
And right now, I'm actually on their website to like pre-order, and the only platforms that show up is PlayStation 1, Xbox One, and PC. And the thing I'm not liking about this is whenever you select the platform, PlayStation 4 comes up first, which a lot of people are speculating that it's going to be all the timed exclusives and other exclusive things are going to be for PlayStation instead of Xbox. And I'm Xbox, so I'm just
See, I
like,
call that alphabetical order. P comes before X.
oh yeah, well, PC's on here too. PC comes before PlayStation. Yeah, fuck off.
Exactly.
But Paco, you're gonna say something?
I was gonna ask, is Advanced Warfare on last gen?
Yes.
Oh, it is. I did not. Okay.
It's so very limited though. I think there's a lot of things.
Like I'd never heard anything or I've seen anyone play that version, even like on like YouTube or stuff.
I feel bad when I get on my Xbox One and I look at my friends list and I see people like it says playing Destiny and then on the side Xbox 360. I'm just like,
Oh
oh.
god. That feels like looking at somebody playing Defiance. It's just ugh.
Oh.
Maybe it's just me, but since there are still some games only on the 360, I still have friends that are still there playing the old games. Like, like I like yesterday I saw a friend playing Mass Effect, and I have a bunch of friends still playing Black Ops 2.
Yeah, you know what? I've recently, like this summer, I'm like, I want to get a 360 to play Black Ops 2 until Black Ops 3 comes out. But I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the community is still there for the old gens. That's why they
Yep.
still keep developing for them.
Well,
Sweat.
of course the community is going to be there for the old gen whenever the old gen consoles. I mean, you can get a used 360 now for what, $75 or something like that?
Yep.
I mean, we're starting to get to the point where the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are about to cost less than the games that you would buy for them.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's completely insane. To have that hardware be this old, 10 years it's been going on. And I understand the PS2 had a great run too. The PS2 lasted even longer than this. The PS2 didn't die until like 5 or 6 years into maybe 7 years into the last generation of consoles.
It was like
That's
it
whenever
died.
they
It died-
stopped manufacturing PS2 games in like 2012, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It was ridiculous.
I think the first PS2 was released in 99, maybe? It was either 99, it was somewhere between 99 and 01. But that's when the PS2 was released, and it lasted a long time.
I wish I had a PS2, but I didn't. I had GameCube.
Just to reference old games, the best place to get old games, I promise you, is either GOG or Steam, all right? With GOG, you don't have a secondary platform like around it, right? But with Steam, you do. And you have support and mod support for a thing that it never was supposed to have mod support. You have games coming from 1999, 2002, stuff like that. And now Steam has, crazy updates going on. And they're thinking about doing Steam refunds. Like, what do you guys think about those?
I think this could be a bad thing for Steam
Why?
because on Steam there's like indie games and stuff, but like I think the rules were like if you can only return a game within like I think it was 14 days and you can only play it less than 2 hours. But I was thinking like there's probably games out there that are like probably you can beat them in less than 2 hours, or just about get this full experience in like 2 hours.
Not many.
So I mean, I
Well,
think there
indie
are games,
developers,
especially indie games
yeah.
out there, and Steam has a crap ton of indie games. So I'm
Mm.
thinking like, people I feel like could abuse this.
Then again, I mean, Steam sells a ton of games that nobody even touches. They buy them and then they don't touch it, so it's like pointless.
Look, all right. You have games on Steam that are like visual novels and things like that that come from everywhere. Like there are ones from Greece. Let's put it like that. That's how crazy it gets. And they're things that are an hour and a half long, but they're only like 99 cents, right?
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're going to have people go and zip through them. I mean, the faster you read, the faster you get through the game. All right? And you're going to be refunding this creator their 99 cents that they earned off of you. Somebody puts together a story and the art and a visual novel, and then they don't get anything for it. Steam refunds are going to ruin some people's business model.
Maybe make better
I'm
games.
done.
GG. All right. Well, I think it's almost time to wrap this up. But before that, this is being recorded on Donut Day. So happy Donut Day, everybody.
What's Donut Day?
It's a day of the donut, man. Like,
Like, is it like National Donut Day?
Yes.
yeah, National Donut Day.
Was I supposed to get a donut?
You were.
Well, actually,
You're too late to get one.
Boom Boom must be having a great day.
But guys, donuts are awesome. And if you have never had a donut, I feel bad for you.
we are sponsored by Donuts.
We are not sponsored by Donuts. Krispy Kreme, if you want to sponsor us, go ahead and hit us up on Twitter. Everything's in the description below. And I've been Rabid Penguin.
You'll always be Rabbit Penguin.
Yep.
Or Jeffrey.
Maybe.
Yeah, so this is us leaving. I'm Jose, aka Crucial Blue.
Paco.
Artful.